Well, my name is NemRaps. I go by NemRaps online. My name is Anthony, and I've been doing nerdcore music for the last 8 years, and I've been enjoying it, and it's probably the best job I've ever had. I had always been like a video game geek, comic book geek, because my dad and my uncle, they were always into that. Growing up, I had an Atari, a Nintendo, a Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis. Anytime something came out, my dad would go out and get it. My uncle was big into comic books, so every time I would go to his house, we'd read comic books together. He would show me what these powers are for this person, what this power, and I was always into that kind of stuff just because of my dad and my uncle. I am the king, I am the chief, I am the leader that's fighting for peace. You see the squad, I got the keys, there is no surrender. I started doing music in high school. That's when I wrote my first rap, and I was inspired by some of the icons of the time, Kool Moe Dee, Big Daddy Kane, LL Cool J, and I found out that I had a penchant for that kind of thing, writing. I would always write poetry, so I figured I could write the poetry to a beat, and then there it is, you got a rap. But I used to use a little cassette tape, hit the record button, and feed it in through a little headphone jack and start rocking out, you know what I'm saying? When I made my first demo, I was in a group, and we sent our demo off to a bunch of labels, Interscope being one of them, and they actually gave us a call back. They flew us out to LA, and they said, hey, we want to work with you guys. And it just never panned out. Our album, I don't know if it was whack, or I don't know if it was just not good enough to be on the label, but we turned in an album, they listened to it, and they said, okay, we'll get back to you. And 2 years later, we still didn't hear anything from them. I just, I guess I gave up that life of trying to be a famous rapper, because at the time I was dating, and obviously I'm married now and I have kids, and I wanted to be a family man instead of a rap superstar at that point. I was working in so many different jobs, but I ended up gravitating towards the restaurant business, pizza mainly, and I did very well in that, but it kind of consumed my life. I was kind of blind in that, with just going along with it and being like, I'm working towards something, I'm gonna have my own franchises one day, and that wasn't for me. So I stopped the pizza stuff, and that's when I started doing my YouTube stuff.
Here we go. This dude's stupid. Oh my God. Yo, what is going on, everybody? This is your boy.
So I started reaching out to guys that I used to perform with on stage and make songs with, and one of the guys' names is Michael Kill. I would go to his house and we would record there, and then he was just introducing me to a lot of other nerdcore artists that I had never heard of before. It intrigued me because, like I said, I had already been a comic book nerd, a video game nerd, and now there's this whole thing where I make music, and I'm looking at people who are making music about these topics. And again, I'm just taken aback, okay, there's people doing YouTube full-time, there's people doing music, nerdcore music full-time. What am I doing? Why am I still kind of I don't know what I want to do, and it's right in front of me. I need to just do it. So at that point, I just said, I'm just gonna do nerd songs. See, I like creating music. So even before I think about what I'm gonna create the music for, I'm already thinking about melodies or chord progressions and how the instrumental is going to sound, how the beat. So I go from beat first, then words, and then I'll try to figure out a theme. Every day I come in here, I get excited because I know that I'm going to make something from scratch. It's going to be mine. I don't have to answer to anybody. And yeah, it's hard work and it's going to take some time, but that process, I love it so much. I could have just been a rapper, but everybody and their mama is rapping nowadays. So it's how do you stand out in a crowd of rappers? Well, if the one thing you do is make sure that you have a niche market, and you stand out that way by doing something that you enjoy to do while also making sure that it's different from what everybody else is doing. So that's one of the greatest decisions ever.